Hello again, we are back. So the last run went pretty bad until we got in the end like pretty much everything we can ask for decent damage and stuff. So yeah, another lost run, huh? Okay. Our seed is V8M1KQ82. So this is my fourth video for the day, and you could probably tell the other videos recently that I'm kind of lacking just stuff to talk about, some banter. Um, I mean, that's what typically happens, I guess, when you're new to this kind of streaming stuff, and especially when you don't have a whole lot going on just yet. Um, I was doing some uploads earlier, and I've got them all scheduled for some days out. Right now, I'm at 3 weeks for a backlog, so when you see this video, this comes out, let's see, either the 13th or the 14th of next month. So, hello, future. Hope you're doing well. I don't know what's going to happen there, and I'm not going to do any predictions. Probably something wild's going to happen, or something that's just going to be kind of lackluster. Or heck, in between. And time machines, though, like... Well, this is more in the lines of a time capsule, this video, so to speak, until it happens. So, like, once YouTube sets everything in place to schedule my video to be uploaded, I am not taking that item. But once they upload it, once they upload it, because I have to upload it before it can like be published. So I got it set to publish for the upcoming days. Oh, that's just terrible. I'm not taking that. Oh, we got a actually, I don't know if that's a room we can bomb. I didn't quite like look at it. No, that's the library. So we don't have any keys to get into our shop necessarily. Let's try right here, maybe? Okay. I mean, not a whole lot. But yeah, I mean, consider this video and other videos like time capsules, really. Like, there's a school that used to be in my hometown and they tore down. There was like talks on like Facebook about it, that evidently they had a time capsule set up, but it was supposed to be open like much later. And I don't know if they just like left it there undisturbed, or they opened it but they just never posted anything. My hunch is that maybe it's still there on site. But part of me is like, when they deconstructed that skull, they had to do a lot of deep digging, so I don't know if they disturbed it or not, or if it was buried somewhere else. And supposedly it just has like, era related like materials in it, like newspapers, probably some student handwriting and stuff. And I mean, that's kind of cool. You kind of hear about little things like that, about time capsules being open to the public and things of that nature. Or even funny stuff that it wasn't meant to be a time capsule, but it's just been preserved. Like those woolly mammoths that they feign like pieces of DNA that's still somewhat intact. And these icebergs or whatever. Not icebergs, you know what I mean. Just sheets of ice. In cold climates. And then, like, the Egyptians were doing something similar, sort of, with their mummification process. Or kinda, but... I mean, videos are also a big time capsule if you think about it. Not a time capsule, but a... maybe not so much of a time capsule, but more... Well, no. Actually, let me rephrase. So, like... I think with, like, old videos and things being documented, especially with audio, in itself, it's a time capsule because it's capturing... That's not going to be too bad. In a sense, it's capturing that moment of time, you know, that era and culture and stuff, to where it's like, hey, you know, this was going on this day, and I paid like this much for gas or something. Okay. Let's try this again. Our seed is WEBX NC6R. WebEx, huh? I think that is a type of imaging file that ain't that good. No, it's WebB? Something like that. I think it's WebB. I don't like it. Anyways, yeah, these audio tapes, these video tapes, discs and stuff like that, it's been just documenting stuff. You get like a peek to see like what it was like back then, especially if you can't remember it or if it's before your time. Let's see. Let's take that. We might be able to utilize this more. It's a pretty good haul. I mean, we could have kept that card for like a later use for like whatever. But I figured... Let's just use this card. I figured we might not get the money, and a Steam sale early on would be very advantageous. Okay. You know what? We could just like pop this down so we don't have to like travel so much. Okay. That's the thing too. Like you see in movies talk about time machines. We're trying to illustrate time machines at least, or time travel. And there's a lot of paradoxes involved, of course. because they have to like fit it into a certain way. It's like the grandfather theory, of course, and that doesn't fit with like say Back to the Future. This room could kill us. And yeah. Now there's technically time travel somewhat. So like we got a International Space Station and stuff that's going slightly faster. So they have to routinely set the time on the things, so it's actually a little bit faster than what we perceive it to be. Now, is it real time travel? I mean, technically it's supposed to be, but to me it's like, nah. Can it be done? I don't know. I really think no, because if that was the case, you'd think there'd be evidence with the amount of like eyes on this earth that they would notice something is amiss, like a glitch in the Matrix or something, you know. Of course, there is conspiracies about that. I'm not gonna go into, but I think it's more on the lines of deja vu and false memories. There's a lot riding with that. Time traveling. Oh. I used to see little things like posted on YouTube and stuff with, oh, here's a time traveler. Da da da. Look, he's got a cell phone. It's like old footage from like the early 1900s. It looks like someone has a cell phone in their hand, but you couldn't tell because it's so blurry. And it couldn't be a cell phone. Come on. And then there's like stuff too. If someone's making false like ancient hieroglyphic stuff, like in China, where it's like, look at this, they know what a cell phone is. Da da da. See, they try to make this device. Usually, it's just someone making something up with this this historic piece, or if it's just like misconstrued to kind of fit their narrative with it being something else. So Infestation 2 is pretty good. If we get some good damage, then we can like utilize it more, like quickly, and build up a big spider army here. We're going to use that. Maybe it wasn't a good idea, kind of think of it, because we might get a blank card. I'm not taking Compost, though it might be a decent synergy. I mean, for 3 cents to get the rest of these floors, might as well speed it up here. Definitely take Humbling Bundle. 3 cents for bombs, yeah. We'll take the compass, that's nice. What we need is like Black Candle and maybe some extra damage and stuff here. Okay. Check here, okay. That ain't too much, that's not too bad of a haul though, for the most part. That might give us some little extra money and secrets here though. Yeah, I haven't really seen too many time machine or time travel films. And I don't think there have been too many of them in recent years. I don't know, they just died off or something. That kind of genre. Or that it's hard to replicate something that's good with that. Okay. So we have a good idea where to go now, so that's nice. And the peers have been, the pills have been very merciful too here. So I'm grateful for that. Okay. Marked. We're not taking marked. I know it keeps coming back in these runs, but unless we got brimstone or something like that, we are not taking it. It's a good tiers. It's a good tiers upgrade. Don't get me wrong. It's just it's not what I want. Okay, good damage upgrade was proc there. That's nice. From Death's List. Oh, we're definitely taking that. Yeah. We'll take this for future utility. There's our blank card. I figured that's going to come around here. Ace of Diamonds. Close. Close. Don't get me wrong. We'll keep it for now. We'll just grab this charge. Let's see what we got here. BFF. I didn't mean to buy that Spirit Heart, but whatever. BFF. Alright, cool. Cool. So we got a little thing going on here. So now we can convert our whatever objects like that. But let me see if that's something we want here. No. Okay. Got that. That's nice. I know there's like talks too. I mean, there's been talks for years about, oh, we should have Back to the Future 3. And early on, it was like, not Back to the Future 3. What am I thinking? There is a Back to the Future 3. I meant to say a fourth one. Yeah, that'd be cool. But then I was like thinking, and I've been seeing like all these films over the years that was coming out of sequels and how really bad they were done with them. It's like that would just do a disservice, and now I'm like more reluctant with another Back to the Future. So they're not gonna do it, so we'll take their word for it. But typically what happens with these remakes and sequels is they wait until the big people die before they come around and be like, we change your minds. As terrible as that sounds. Like that's what happened with after Robin Williams died. They started like talking about, oh, let's do a remake of Jumanji and stuff like that. It's like, and then they also did a remake of Aladdin years later after him. Well, live action Aladdin. I haven't seen it. I've heard things about it, but I haven't really personally seen it to see if it's like decent or not. I didn't like Mulan, the remake. I guess you can consider them remakes. So this room's a little spicy here. If we're just careful enough here and concentrate. But yeah, like if time travel was possible, you'd think like there would be all sorts of screwy things going on for like ever. Like constantly history is changing. It's like, I don't remember this going on. What are you talking about? Of course, that's the thing. It's like, if time travel was possible, then history is going to be constantly changing to where it's like, I mean, they kind of illustrate that kind of thing in Back to the Future as like, you know, talking about all these different themes that the main character knows it's supposed to be happening, but then like they're explained by these other characters at that timeline is like with absolutely no knowledge whatsoever that that this is a thing in the future. They can't see it in the future. They don't know what's going to happen. And so like kind of that concept somewhat, only in the sense it's like the material you learned about is constantly changing. And so like how do you learn the old material if it gets changed? Like your mind is just like changing I mean, it is changing constantly, obviously. But I mean, in the sense it's like you learn something, right? And you retain it, and it's old stuff, right? But then if you have someone that's messing with the timeline and things constantly, then it's like it gets erased, the original memory. And then you end up in this loop. It's like you learn something, but then that something is always getting erased and getting replaced without you consciously knowing it. I'm blowing your mind here, I know. But like that's exactly what it kind of is like with the human brain. Only I'm talking about more in a more extreme sense here. It's like we are constantly being messed with. We could have stuck with that, but I think we need the money in order to get future utility with our shops here. I was kind of thinking at first there. Because now we got a tarot card, like it's going to double the use with it, and we don't want to like something nasty. Well, there's nothing nasty that comes with these ruins in the most part. They're pretty tame. But now that we got a little synergy going on, we're pretty like set. I mean, at least for like consumables and stuff. But yeah, going back with like this whole like paradox thing is like, well, how do you deal with that? And you think it'd be obvious or something. Of course, I know there's like things posted over social media about the Mandela effect that you believe in you believe as if this something was real, but they're trying to, make you believe that no, it was actually this slightly different version of the original. Not the original. Slightly different version of what you believe in. And then so like you got the subset of people that look at that. I think we'll skip the backpack. Yeah, we'll take that. I mean, just make us more powerful here. Okay, that's nice for bosses. We got a little payout too from that. That card's not going to do much for us unless if it's a 2 of diamonds, but it's not. Or a joker, but it's not either. Yeah, it's that's the thing. It's like the Mandela effect. That's all based on false memories. So there's a science behind that. So like every time you recall a memory, like it's not as accurate and it changes every time. It's just how you perceive it at the time with how you're like conditioned or everything. It's a wild thing. Wild thing. Now, in technical terms, not in actual terms, so to speak, um, I suppose you can change history from the past by, warping it, and that gets kind of muddled when it comes to um, when it comes to um, teaching the material and stuff, and then trying to change it in such a way to where it's something that it should not be, in order to fit a narrative, political reasons and stuff, manipulation reasons. Um, I mean, it is a form of manipulation because you're changing the information on hand instead of actually providing a neutral feedback to it. And it gets also even more muddled because it's also history based on observations from people at the time that's also just as warped. And their own minds because it's not entirely accurate. The only way to really capture the accuracy of something is, of course, documenting it by audio and sound. Because that leaves, but of course that also leaves to an open interpretation because everyone sees everything different and interpret things differently. Just the whole science behind that, it's nuts. So in that sense, yes, you can change history. You could also change history by doing things, obviously, on a constant basis. In the movie, The Butterfly Effect, they had some, yeah, so it's kind of like a pseudo form of what they're trying to explain, a pseudo form of, these items are not that great either. A pseudo form of time travel. It's so what was going on with the film was rather than actual time travel, he was going back in time with his abilities through his writings to change the way things happened. And as he kept doing that, things were just getting worse and worse for him. Health-wise, his friends, things in society just start falling apart. And then eventually he got to a certain spot where the things just got fixed, and then he left that behind with time travel. With his writings, I guess. I don't know. It was an interesting movie. Nonetheless, a lot of psychology involved too, of course, with that film because it kind of gets into children being raised in these different environments, and then you see them in the future as adults that more than likely end up this kind of person or that kind of person with these different personas. And I'm pretty sure that was pretty intentional to do that, of course. It's kind of, you kind of see that too in Back to the Future. When by the time they return back to their timeline, things have changed, of course. The whole demeanor of Marty McFly's dad in the first one. Now, granted, this is all just science fiction stuff, so this is not actual thing. So I don't know what would actually happen if you start warping stuff. It probably does something similar, but of course, time travel is not even possible. I thought you were stuck on that rock still. I've seen little documentaries about us Yeah, time travel is only like possible if someone in the future decides to build a time machine and they can only go backwards to a certain time and yada yada, all this physics and stuff that I just don't know. Physics and sciencey stuff. I'll leave that for the scientists. I don't have a physics degree. I never even learned much physics. We'll go this way. Oh! Man, we're just kind of close with this stuff here. I'm on a little time crunch, so I ain't messing with you, lady. Come on. There we go. Well. These items were a little subpar, to say the least here. Epiphora is so much better than Isaac's Heart, especially for the Lost Cheese. The only thing that would probably benefit with the Lost with the Heart is like doing the blood bank machines, but that's pretty much it. I mean, oh, and blood rights item, but finding that now is pretty slim. Okay, we go down here just to check things out. Mosey on through. I mean, might as well. I mean, we can go back and forth out. If we're careful. Yeah. At this rate, I'm not gonna like... Infested. Use the thing, because... something tells me we're gonna get a greed fight here. Oh, flight, huh? And a spirit upgrade, a spirit heart, a whatever heart that gives us health. Oh, look at that! Fantastic. Tubular, dude. Now, one documentary is talking about, yeah, going back with the time machine thing. They would have to build the machine, and then they can only go back in time, and I think forward in time, up to that point, to when that machine was made, something like that. I don't know what the logic behind it is. But one of the biggest things, plot holes they don't talk about in these movies, because it's science fiction and no one likes to think too much, and these things, because like you're there to enjoy, not to like, you know, argue about it. Was in order to time travel, like part of the thing is figuring out the issue where you land back on the planet you're time traveling on. And what I mean by that is, so because everybody is floating on a space rock right now, orbiting around the sun and other planets and moving around the universe, we're not set in a fixed point. So the sun is dragging us to our doom, slowly. Not to be too morbid, but that's the reality. I'll see you in 4 billion years, or whatever it is, before like the sun gets so big, like we melt, or something else happens. But we'll be long dead before then. But yeah, so the big issue is they would have to figure out how to land back on Earth in the right location so you don't smash into a tree or like disintegrate or something weird. And then, yeah, you land in the right spot, the right time, the right trajectory where Earth is at that moment of time. Because, like, say a year from now, say from a year now, I got a time machine. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna go a year in the future or something, right? So some people may think it's like, oh, okay, a year in the future, like it's gonna be around here because we'd be close to the sun here. Da da da. But the big problem is like we're in a different field of orbit in space to where like where Earth used to be is not there anymore, and it'll never be there anymore. So that's your dilemma. Instead, you'd be hurled off in space, and you have no clue where you are. And by the time you travel to this cold, dead thing of space, you're suffocating, and you have no way to like travel in space. Now, let's say it's a spaceship or something very like advanced. That almost got us. You know what? Actually, I don't know if that would do anything or not for us. Too much. Well, neither this until we get a good card, but so yeah, just hypothetically, if you got a spaceship that's goes super fast and it's got a lot of resources and stuff, you know, light speed, just not like possible. Well, let's just entertain the idea that it can be without like, you know, depressurizing you and destroying you with insane G speeds, which is like gravitational force speeds. Then I could see it to where it's like you can do it. They talk about too, you have to go faster than the speed of light to like time travel. I mean, nobody's came up with anything with that, how to do it, and there's nothing faster than the speed of light. So, well, my theory is maybe there is, like, somehow take light and then like somehow put like a some kind of like a leash on there or something, and then strap it to another thing that's light and somehow accelerate it to double the force. I don't know. I don't think it works that way, and I don't know how you can really do that. Which, I'm pretty sure like you can't. Otherwise, we wouldn't be spending 6 or 9 months to get to Mars, or at the slow rate we were been going. Or maybe they do have it. Maybe they do have the technology and they're not telling us. Like how the pyramids were built by aliens, not Egyptians. Ooh, so this is an interesting one. Because I know exactly what this combination does, and we're not going to utilize the other thing. So this is one of those rare traits where you find a double active card and you got blank card. Actually, I'll just show you. We'll blow this up here. Oh, almost got the tick. Well, the tick wouldn't be bad, but if we get something better, then I don't want to be stuck with it. You see, I had a feeling this was Matriarch. But we've got the damage and we got the spiders. Okay. So as I was saying, check this out. Aha! And a lot of harmless flies. And this is actually a really great item. So this gives us an I am error room. Oh. Oh, that's why I can't use it. That's right, I forgot. So if you do that, you lose both your items. It cancels itself out. So it's a paradox is what it is. It's like, okay, we're going to use blank card to, I hope that's not, okay, it's just that. See what happens is you cause you cause a paradox in the universe to where it's like, well, I'm going to blank card this double active, but this double active is using blank card. And blank card is the space bar, so therefore it's going to be inactive to using the card. So you get where I'm going at with this paradox here. It means there's an infinite loop, just like with like this whole time traveling like tangent I'm having here, which is pretty hilarious. So that helped our run even more with actually, did we blow up? No, we did not. We need to increase our chance here. At least look for 9 lives or something here. But I think we're doing pretty well with for the most part here. Got a nice little synergy going on with a few items, which is nice. Okay. Let's go over here. Yeah. Now, just because it sounds like it's impossible to time travel, like, you might ask, is like, why is scientists still trying to crack this code? It's like, I don't know. Because, like, they got money to fund this stuff, and they're kind of bored, I guess. I don't know. They like competing with one another. I know there's a lot of that. A lot of that in the science world. Always like someone want to be the first one to like discover something new or something that, you know, challenges the ideas of old ideas. Steal people's other ideas, like was it Benjamin Franklin or Thomas Edison or someone stealing ideas from other people? I don't know. Of course, the history also could be warped to make you believe that. I don't know. There's so much stuff floating in the hemisphere. This planet. A lot of hot air. Oh, this room looks interesting. We got the keys for this. We don't need money. We don't really need a lot of consumables. Wow, that was just a little lackluster there. Just check in here for this little boss fight. There might be a little something here, because sometimes you might get a super greed with a 9 lives. Now, left hand, which I am definitely not taking for the chest. And the thing with time travel is, and you kind of hear about in stories, it's in news stories, it's like, well, if they discover this, then this is going to help this and this subset of people. But they don't tell you about the opposite end. Oh no. There's always an opposite to where it's like, it's going to use against you. Like, you know, artificial limbs, which, yes, it's an extreme, like, necessity that needs to be developed. But at the same time, you got, you know, companies doing this to make it more nefarious. Or have control of the limbs. Kind of like with farming equipment now, especially with John Deere, where they put like a lot of software on there to where you have to pay a subscription, otherwise they'll just turn off your tractor. And farmers have been going out and pirating it. Which is like something I would never, I would think I would never say, but that farmers are pirating software and fixing it up and cracking the code so that way they can use the equipment free. And more power to you guys. You got to get those crops for us, and it costs money, resources to do all that anyways. Don't need to be nickel and dime for subscription fees. Yeah, this run went pretty quick. It's still a little touchy, just a little bit, because it's obviously the last. It's going to be touchy for the most part, but see what our last items are. Okay, let's see what here. Ah, just paid forward to me. Okay, we're not taking Ludovico or whatever it's called. Perks won't do really much for us here. I say down. So hopefully we make it through the end here. They're running into too many nasty rooms. This one's a little bit, but they've got the damage and speed and stuff. But yeah, time traveling, it's a fickle thing. If I had a time machine, I mean, I'd be doing a lot of good and bad things. I'll keep it pretty reasonable. I promise. Maybe you might see me as a ruler or a king or something. I don't know. Who knows? You just gotta find out. Wait and find out. Let's see. Okay, let's just squeeze over here. Okay. Oh, that's nice to have just in case. We got. Okay. I mean, we had pretty much good pills, so like, thanks, but no thanks. I'll take you again. Extra defense here. What do we got? Come on. Oh, okay. For a second there, I thought I was worried about my bombs with all these secret rooms, you know? Maybe my 68 bombs plus like the golden bomb thing I got. Okay. Oh, we don't need to go through that stuff. We've pretty much won the run here. So yeah, that was a really fast run, a really fun run. I think that was a good thing we went through and did the IM error, despite losing blank card. So yeah, we're back on the win streak now. Well, not win streak, but you know, we're back on the winning team, so to speak, something like that. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.